Happy Sunday afternoon. It's currently 3 p.m. and we are here in the shop to do our first edition of Garage Vlogs. Today's video I'll be covering basically what 1 week of consistent posting has done for me. You know, it's got this big gaping hole. So the consistent posting is across TikTok, my Instagram racing page, not my personal page, and my Facebook fan page, and as well as on here on YouTube. So bear with me as I do a little fixing of my hoodie here. But yes, that is what I wanted to showcase. I've got the heater on here in the shop. I actually just turned it off, got a little toasty, but I actually just wanted to show you guys a couple things of what to expect. We're a couple months out. They just recently released the schedule at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and we've got our first chassis inspection / test and tune day the end of March, I believe, on the 28th and the 29th of March. So weather permitting, I'll be out there to get my chassis inspected, because as of right now, the chassis is expired. Alright, how's that look? We'll get the job done. Alright, so make sure you guys are still able to see me. Perfect. So I've gone over a couple numbers of kind of where we started. So these are all the numbers from literally last Sunday, January 3rd. I started on TikTok at 1,039 followers. I went up to 1,073. So not a big jump, but that's pretty decent off of around 10 to 15 pieces of content. I believe I got, as I'm uploading this video, anywhere from 13 to 14 posts that I did this week. Because my bare minimum I've been looking to do is at least 1 piece of content per day. Now I've averaged actually anywhere from 2 to 3 pieces of content. I think I missed Friday, but I made it up on Saturday and did 4 pieces of content. So there's people out here saying, oh, you need to do 1 piece, or you need to do 10 or 30. Man, just get something out. Just get something out. That's my main thing. So that was TikTok's number. Instagram, I went from 263, I'm not write it down up there, up to 373. So this one, I think, this one and YouTube probably were the ones that went up the most, but that's a little bit over 110 new followers, and that one had roughly 40,000 people who actually viewed the channel, which was, or my page, which was huge. So YouTube definitely did some numbers. I actually had one post in particularly do around 20,000 views, so that was huge for me. Facebook fan page, this one was probably the lower one, which I'm not really surprised by. I'm just now getting back to using Facebook. I felt like I have a whole coalition of fans that I haven't really been able to get to and showcase kind of what I've been, able to accomplish. I think last year alone, I only did like 8 posts on there. So I really wanted to make sure I was doing, my fans on there that I've grown over the years. Because honestly, I think Facebook is, probably some of my most tenured fans, from my circle track days all the way through to my NASCAR diversity stuff, and even now with my drag racing stuff. So I wanted to make sure I gave back to them. But we grew from 939 up to 942. So we had a little bit of growth there, and like I said, decent amount of posting, same roughly 10 to 15 pieces of content. And then we jumped to YouTube, and YouTube went from 217 subscribers up to 408 new subscribers, or 408 subscribers, or roughly 50K in viewership. So that's huge for me, man. That's huge. I've had a lot of interaction, both with commenting. And I joke about a lot of slander that I get on there from people discovering that I drive a Cavalier as a race car, which, if you guys are new here, this is the race car right here. Make sure you guys can see it. it's in winter mode. But a lot of people either think it's a coal boat or they think it's, oh my God, it's a Cavalier. Oh my God. And it's like, it's not your regular Cavalier. But I digress. We're gonna get back around to that. But I roughly across all platforms have made, like I said, anywhere from 10 to 15 posts for the week. And I think some of the best ones have been just me showcasing my actual story. So like I said, the one that did the best on Instagram was, me just explaining how we took everyday Cavalier and turned it into the race car that you see. So a lot of people have never seen this process. It's, common knowledge in drag racing of people chopping down a car literally to the skin, putting the skin on a chassis and building around that with a fiberglass doghouse and, 9-inch rear end, all the bells and whistles. So a lot of people, that was their first time ever seeing that, and I got a lot of interaction and people asking questions, and we're very curious to see how we were able to do that. So I think that was a big win for us. That thing finally went off, like I'm having to yell over. Also some call to action posts. We talked about how we were able to just once again reintroduce myself in every post and make it seem like this is your first time ever seeing me, which for a lot of people it is. And I have to be very, open to the idea that nobody has ever really seen a lot of the stuff that I've done over the past, 18 years since I was 11. And, keep that in mind with every post. It might seem like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but to a lot of the people who discover my page, this is the first time of them ever seeing me talk about my racing, which this is why I really want to showcase, different aspects of the first part of my career, because a lot of it was documented well through pictures, but media has changed within the last, 5 to 10 years, especially within the last 2 to 3 years. So a lot of those call to action posts was me, telling people about where what I actually do, where I plan on going, and just follow, So I've been doing a lot more research here recently too, through different podcasts and different people who actually create content within the sponsorship realm of stuff too, because I feel even with me, I don't think I'm a guru when it comes to getting sponsored. I feel like if I was, I'd be able to do this more full time, but I do have an extensive amount of knowledge from both my time in college, being a motorsports management major, and also too just actually being out here in the street, actually going hard at getting sponsors, whether that's through DMing, because I've actually landed sponsorship before through DMing on Twitter, DMing on Instagram, sending out cold emails, going to the different trade shows, actually mom and pop shops or places around here in Indy. So I have experience with those, basically sales experience in that realm of selling myself, selling my story, and the program that we have. And I'm currently doing that now. I've actually got a meeting on Tuesday with somebody that I hope that we're able to, do something with in the future. Well, let's see here, what else? As I mentioned, with the motorsports management degree, I would love to, find ways to incorporate that more. I weld for a living, which I actually will have some videos here soon about a little bit more welding. But, I feel like I use that, for my everyday earnings and a lot of my, day-to-day stuff that I can't really showcase a lot of the times. I feel like with the motorsports management degree, a lot of people can learn from what I've learned over those years with how I studied and how I even apply a lot of that to my day-to-day operations with racing. So it's so much, man. So I didn't want to make this video too long, but I did just want to hop on here and give you guys a rough, amount of numbers of, what we're dealing with just week 1 of posting. I say going forward, expect there to be a video going up every Sunday, because I'm going to hold myself accountable. Every Sunday around 8 p.m., we're going to have us a video recapping the week on where we stand as far as what we've done this week to help get our story out there and to help this program get further, because I want to do this full time. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy like welding and everything else, but I just want to race full time. And I feel like I've given myself the opportunity now to really go balls to the wall. There's no really excuse why I can't do that through, just talking to you guys. I really do hope that, and I know we can make it in just bracket racing, and maybe even getting back into the circle track stuff. There's the sky's honestly the limit. I've been back home now as long as I've been gone. Home being Indianapolis, Indiana, and being gone for 5 years. Really, I've been back 5 years roughly now, and I've done so much in such a short amount of time. And I feel like this is the time now to really go all the way in. I'm pushing everything in. I've literally, sacrificed more than I've ever really shared. And now I feel like I really put everything into this. I've shared a lot of things that I felt like were taken away from my abilities to be able to go racing. I'm pretty much at ground zero with this still, and I really want to showcase basically going from a zero to a hero. And I know with building a community, like I said, sky's the limit. So I won't bring this on too much further, but make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links below for previous videos. I'm glad you guys really liked the Lost Files video. If you haven't seen it, please also check that out of me and KJ going out and racing earlier last year. And I really can't wait to get into the projects that we have and be able to just showcase what it is that WT3 Showtime is all about. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.